Hello everyone, and welcome to Saving Feyce, a Craftic Studios D&D 5e campaign. Things to note as you join us on this adventure. First, this is a heavily homebrewed campaign where we'll bend the rules to suit our story. If it makes a good story, the rule goes out the window. All players are using either homebrew or community-created races, classes, or both, and we'll be revealing those as they're revealed over the course of the story, so as to avoid spoiling anything. We'll be using safety tools at the table. These will be present in the use of safety cards and extensive communications behind the scenes. Our goal is to make our players and our table as safe as possible. So if we suddenly cut stream, please don't be alarmed. We're working things out, and we'll be back shortly. Oh yeah, and we swear. A lot. In the beginning was the age of darkness, and then the age of men, and then the age of fire. According to the calendar of the Magisterium d'Orleans, there are 7 days left in the year 2167 of the Fourth Age, here on the planet known as Eta. I would warn all who travel her shores. Not everything here is as it seems. Hi, I'm Justin McGregor. Welcome to Saving Feyce. I'm your demon host. Going around the table, we have...
I'm Liz, and I will be playing Aoife, your Pact of the Angry Moon warlock.
I'm Abe. I will be playing Marge, your Warforged Barbarian, hopefully, and Frostbite, your Druidic Fairy.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and I will be playing your half-elf paladin, Diana.
Hi, I'm Meg, and I will be playing our human Pact of the Apparition warlock, Marcella.
Hi, it's Nikki. I've got a new mic stand, and I definitely hit my glasses on it. And I'll be playing your Siren Nia.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Amazing.
Right
So
on.
good.
Usual start of show business. First, as always, we would like to thank Gabe James Games for the class modifier module that is used to create all the characters here. Also, Dice Delvers on the DM Guild for Pact of the Apparition, which is what Marcella is playing. I'm sorry, I didn't know we were announcing Aoife's Pact tonight, or I would have had...
I mentioned it at one point. Something about the Angry Moon came
You did.
out recently
You did.
on Twitter. That was my bad. So
No. I would have had that ready, but I will for next time. Also, of course, Chris Sergi, whose amazing music you heard during the intro and will throughout the show. This quarter, we are raising money for RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, which is the largest anti-sexual violence organization in the country. RAIN created and operates the National Sexual Assault Hotline in partnership with more than 1,000 local sexual assault service providers across the country. They also carry out programs to prevent sexual violence, help survivors, and ensure that perpetrators are brought to justice. I'm sure by now there is a Tiltify link in the doobly-doo. As part of that fundraiser this quarter, we have already given away a Field Notes adventure set. And also we'll be drawing for places in a upcoming Sean's Garage at a one-shot.
Sean's Garage.
Sean's Garage.
Just the note, we're all so mad we can't play in it.
yeah, we're super mad about it.
No, but the people who can play in it are the people who've donated. So please, any amount, it all helps. It all goes to a good cause that we care a whole lot about. And you might find yourself here doing strange things in ETA. Last bit of show news. By now, I think you all know, but I'm going to say it anyway. We are using the plot points mechanic from the back of the DMG, which means that at any point, a character can insert a plot element into the world, and I have to deal with it. We will definitely be seeing at least one of those tonight.
Feeling the power.
Yes. So, yes, my favorite part of the show. I, your DM, am not deaf to my players' wishes. And so, for all of you except Marcella, who is immune, I will let you attempt to persuade me that you do not need to do the recap. Please roll persuasion, and whoever rolls lowest has to give the recap.
For those who get, oh no, it's performance, my bad. Dang it. I was going to say, for those of us that get advantage.
Oh yeah. No, I picked the mechanics on purpose. I'll let Aoife use advantage stealth one time. It's a thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did that.
What if I did it in the voice of Chauncey? Do I get advantage? For my actor feat?
Give it to me. I actually want to hear it.
So here's the thing. I should not have to do the recap because listen here, DM, I am an NPC. I'm not founded in your
Yeah, you can advantage for that.
Nikki, I love you so fucking much, and I don't tell you that enough.
We do not. This is true.
I bumped it up by 1, so I'm sitting pretty at a 19.
I've got a 22.
Really, I have a 19 as well.
It was with advantage.
Also got a 19. Choke on my water?
No, God, no. Don't choke on the salt water. Or see.
Okay, so rock, paper, scissors, and then an arm wrestle, right?
Oh,
Actually,
no.
wait, no. Let's see. This is charisma based, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's got the lowest charisma mod? We'll do it just like we would anything else.
+3.
Oh my God. I was looking at perception, not persuasion. Excuse me. That's a 24. Might be. I'm
Okay.
16. I was like, +3. Okay, fine. All right.
Okay, between Liz and Abe, who's got
+3.
I have +1.
Yes.
Abe? Recap's yours.
So let's see. You have to forgive me because I'm not at home with my notes in front of me. There was,
Help action is a thing that exists. I'm just saying.
yeah. There was some shenanigans. We ended up taking Marge to the Artificer, where there was a little shopping montage. We found about Pod. There was a whole interaction of that where Pod learned a new trick. And we found out that Pod does enjoy the name Pod. Nia got Diana an enchantment for her brooch. Diana wanted to buy some armor, and a little snitch fucker tried to throw her under the bus to the guards. The party came to her rescue, at which point Aoife said, "This is not the paladin you were looking for." Best scene of the whole damn thing. Saved combat with a single roll. The Artificer started working on Marge, plugged in his memory core, and he came alive. There were lots of feels. Just almost broke me and made me cry. Almost. This close. Then there was a pointed question that we left off on by our lovely paladin. And I believe that question is, which one of you has a ghost in your head?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Give or take.
And everybody pulled out booze.
They did. But before we commence with the drinking, oh yes, Diana.
Party, did I miss anything?
You did great. Except there was
Shopping.
shopping,
I said shopping.
At the beginning.
Oh,
and there was a message received
that's right.
and was
Uh,
told about, and there's a missing winter Eladrin that we thought was dead.
That's right.
that's
The
right.
Eladrin is not in the closet.
He did say he doesn't have his notes in front of him.
No,
So
no,
Yeah.
I was
Hey,
that's pretty good for not
filling
having your
in.
notes.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Look, that's damn good for me not having my notes and
You did great, sweetie. We're proud
and
of
2
you.
days into a road trip.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thanks, Mom.
So yeah, before we get into all that drinking, I think we need to answer that question, don't you? Diana, if you could give us the line again.
Now that everyone knows that I'm wanted and whatnot, I have a question. I have more questions, but this one's a little more important. Which one of you has a ghost inside of them?
Technically, doesn't everyone? Isn't that what the spirit, the soul is?
That's not what I'm asking.
I don't think Marge has one of those, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure how Warforged work.
Got something. They think it's him, though.
I'm sorry, Diana, why would you ask such a question?
I had a little conversation with my goddess.
And who is your goddess?
That doesn't matter right now.
Oh, I do believe it does.
I don't think it does.
I would also point out at this point that because of a previous complication, Diana is in fact compelled to answer.
My goddess is Lyra. I took my oath to her one night in the swamp. Granted, I've followed her for over a year now.
And why would Lyra care?
Because she was there when the world almost burned. She doesn't want to see that happen. She wants to prevent whatever is happening. She has entrusted me to assist with that.
Interesting. Still a silly question.
I don't think it is, and Diana casts Zone of Truth.
Well,
I
Couldn't
will-
gods just and do their thing and make it not burn?
If one god had that power, there wouldn't be need for the countless others that exist. There would be one god to rule them all, and we know that doesn't happen.
it's also not a very good form of ruling things.
No, absolutely not. So, I
Nia
will ask
willingly
again.
fails her save, by the way.
For the record, this is technically PvP. Before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody at the table is okay with this.
No, but yes.
Okay, well, it's still a save against her spell save DC.
What's that DC?
Un momento. It is 15.
I
Cool.
fail it.
Thanks,
Those
Preston.
good frostbite dice that you haven't been able
Yes.
to show off yet. Yeah. Fancy.
What is the save though?
15.
It is charisma.
Charisma.
Charisma, that was wisdom.
Nope, it's charisma. On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie inside the radius.
That's true. Now,
It's not a compulsion to tell the absolute truth. You just can't tell a deliberate lie. You rolled a 5?
I rolled a fucking.
I'm still upset about the fact that we haven't gone to The Pruny Paladin's sauna. I'm still upset about that.
So,
I stole a bunch of things in the Druid Temple.
Wait, what?
That's where Pod's from.
So wait, what else did you find in there?
I'm
Anything
derailing.
good?
Nikki feels bad for derailing. Continue with the actual.
Did you find anything good though?
We'll
Yes, I found Pod
address
there.
your sticky fingers later. I don't think anyone lived there, so I'm not too
Oh,
worried
you're the
about
one to
that.
talk. I'm sorry.
pretty sure somebody did live there. We murdered them there.
That was a cult. I don't think they lived there
No, but someone did.
And they had journals there.
at one point. I said did. They didn't live there anymore. But back to my original question. Who here has a ghost inside of them?
Well, again, dear, everyone does.
That is a non-answer. I want yes or no's from everyone here.
I've got a nose.
I'm glad you have a nose for us, Bite.
She's got a nose. She's got a nose. She's got a nose. You've got a nose.
I'm gonna
There's
take
all
your
your
sugar
nose.
stars.
I guess the curious thing is because I want to say no, but what exactly is Lyra trying to find somebody with a particular ailment when it comes to a ghost being inside of them? Because I would agree with Marcella, like we do all have a spirit in
Said
us.
someone was playing host to...
Is someone a ghost host? Is that what you're asking?
Ghost host with a mouse?
Yes, someone is playing host to a ghost.
Then no,
Thank
that's
you,
not
Nina.
me. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And what did Lyra actually say for you to do with this person with the ghost?
She said that the thing hiding wants to see the world burn. She didn't go into detail. She doesn't much. But she really didn't give instruction on what to do after I found out. She just told me to ask and to find out. So, I'm doing as I'm told.
So if somebody wants to burn down the world, then they have the ghost. Nia, do you want the world to burn?
Heavens no, I love the shopping too much.
Aoife, do you want the world to burn?
Preferably no. Thank you.
Marcella?
No, absolutely not.
Diana?
No. But again, that's not the question. The question is who is playing host to something that's not themselves.
I guess technically that would be Marge, since I lived in him for the last year.
We're being very mean and very vague to poor Diana here, who was only being a conduit for her goddess. I get it.
You can say it, Nia, I'm being a paladin. It's fine.
Oh yes, I know you're being a paladin. I was working up to it.
She was trying to ease into it.
That's what I do.
Wow, who would have thought I actually did what I was supposed to do?
You're doing great.
I did take an oath for a reason.
So, and what happens when you find out the information that you're looking for, or that Lyra is looking for?
Well, she instructed to go to the temples. That questions regarding everything could be found there with the Lunomic. Guess that would be the next step.
So who has a passenger on them that is planning to set the world on fire? I guess is the proper question then. And again, that's not me.
I do also think that that is entirely an unfair question.
How is it unfair?
Don't you think if somebody had something like that, they would want assistance with getting rid of it, and they would have told someone? They would have told you, perhaps, maybe if they trusted you? Perhaps maybe it's better if that isn't known by most people?
You know, if you want to have your secrets, that's fine. But if it puts this party in danger, so help me, any of you, I will not think twice. I was going to lay down my sword and go willingly to protect all of you. And I cannot have a single truth. That is fine. When the world burns, it will not be my fault. And Diana drops the zone of truth. So, Petrus, we were drinking, right? Right. Are we gonna play Truth or Truth now? Round 2?
Yeah,
Maybe we'll get some truth out of that.
indeed. Yeah, as the guy who's caused the most trouble here, I don't feel the least bit awkward at the moment. But if you have...
Nah, Petrus, you died and came back. You clean slate.
Yes, well.
Well, and if it makes anything better, none of it was really your fault anyway.
I hope not. So he keeps pulling alcohol out of his pockets, as he has done several times before, setting out shot glasses. And the game begins.
You got any coffee stout?
No more coffee for you. I think you need an intervention at this point.
You're not my mom.
The last thing we need
You're
is
running
you
away from
zooming
your mom.
around to answering questions.
There's a lot of things that are fragile in this shop. I'd rather not have anything broken.
And have to pay for it.
I didn't run into the chandelier. I'm not going to run into anything here.
You were close.
Close only counts in horseshoes and fireballs.
You're not wrong.
Though I'm pretty sure you were a direct line for the chandelier before I grabbed you, so...
Oh, drinking.
Just so. For everyone at home, we will not be playing Truth or Truth live.
No. God, no.
Last Tuesday, yeah, it would take 6 hours. Last Tuesday, we in fact recorded a special episode, which will be released soon. TM. I finished audio editing on it yesterday. But we slip into an evening of drinking. A lot of truth, few lies, few awkward, uncomfortable silences. And as we wrap, as everyone gets ready to go to bed, one quick status check. Where does everybody end up?
Nia is asleep on Bugbear. Just like a few feet off the ground so that she's not disturbed by the moving of the aircraft too much.
Marcella is curled up on the table next to Marge with her head on his charred bear-shaped leg and is telling him a story.
Right. Aoife ended up in the corner sitting with Petrus while he slept.
And Frostbite is in his hammock in the open panel of Marge's chest with his foot kicked out towards the side, just rocking slowly. listening to the story.
And Diana.
Anna has gone out to the landing of the ship to
It's a
get
clear.
fresh air.
It's a clear night. By the half moon, you can see all the way to the harbor. The rings are glowing a little extra bright tonight. It's cold up there. God, it's cold. So you have your breath, you see your stars. Now what?
I go back down to the city.
Not far from the door, there are a couple of little skimmers tied up. They don't keep them ground level during the day because you don't want randos flying up and docking. Your plot point doesn't buy you an easy flight. I need a sleight of hand check, please. DC 15.
Bring it back. That's a 14.
You make it. There are a couple of extra marks on the deck. Maybe the
I'm good
odd.
with boats.
Yeah, you are indeed. The odd scratch on the paint job, shall we say. But you make it down soon enough. I mean, you were going to make it down one way or another. I'm guessing, don't. I'm guessing that you're not just going for a midnight stroll.
No,
What are you after?
I am in search of a particular halfling with the intricate glasses.
I've said before, and I'm sure I'll say it again. Lyra takes care of her own. You land, you step out, and it's as if she knows. On the ground is a very fine trail of mist. All you have to do is follow her lead.
And I follow.
It's really not that far. The landing is more or less city center. The halfling is a city engineer, so he lives not far from the little government complex right there in the middle of the city. Door's not hard to wiggle open. The mist leads you right next to where he's sleeping.
I take my great sword out and I cast Fog Cloud. After doing such, I cast Disguise Self and make myself look ethereal as possible in the similar fashion of the goddess Eldeth, the goddess of peace.
Indeed.
I reach for and wake the halfling.
He kind of cowers.
I'm not here to harm you. I come bearing a warning.
Who are you?
I am Eldeth, the goddess of protection and peace. I am here to warn you of what's to come.
What do you mean? What's to come? What?
Your Baron. Your Baron intends to strip this city of all of its wealth for himself. He will starve his people. He will pin you against one another. I am leaving it to you. I'm leaving it to you to protect this city.
To me?
Of course.
I just...
You want it to protect the truth and peace. You showed yourself today, and I have no other faith than in you. You must remove the Baron from his seat. That is the only way this city will be safe. If not, it will burn.
I don't know if I can.
I have all faith in you. Gather your friends and your comrades. Enough strength you can overturn one man. It's just one man who hides behind his wealth and his manor and his guards that will easily turn on him as well. No one is safe from him.
It will be done, my goddess.
Diana takes the dagger and puts it in his hands. With this, I trust you. It will protect you and those you love. Do as I say. Tell as many people as you can. But don't let the Baron know until it's too late.
It will be done as you say.
And I disappear into the fog cloud and sneak back out of the house. And when I get out of the house, I cast invisibility. And everyone...
Just using all those spell slots. Dang.
And every person I see on the street, I tell them the same thing. The Baron is out to get his citizens. He wants to see them starve, wants to take their money. The only choice is to revolt.
So that's what you buy with a plot point.
Dang.
However, there will be a complication. Commensurate to what was purchased.
Ooh. Ooh. Don't like that. Don't like that.
I will reveal the complication when it becomes relevant to the story. So, yes, the revolution will be streamed.
This is not the goddamn Hunger Games.
In this
How do
case,
you know?
it kind of is.
May the
you know?
odds be ever in your favor.
Indeed.
Thank you, Effie.
So, I won't make you roll for the return to the ship. You land a few more dings, a few more scratches. That's okay. I'm assuming you just returned to the party. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That took long enough. I imagine from her place on the ethereal plane, Marcella sees Diana just walking right back in with the smile on her face.
Honestly, Marcella just had to lie her ass off. She doesn't give two shits. Just like, oh, okay, she's in one piece. That's fine.
Very good. So, I'm going to ask something. I remember from the end of our last session, Liz, you saying something to the effect of Aoife doesn't need to sleep, but at some point she does. Meditates at least.
Well,
How does that work for her?
It's a warlock thing. It's the moon thing. It's a invocation that I took. So she can actually basically do like light housework equivalent,
Nice.
and like literally doesn't need to sleep anymore.
Interesting. Interesting.
I love that.
Just kind of like patter around for 8 hours and call it good. Totally rested.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could use that spell. Just saying. Just to
Same.
be
Yes.
human.
Same.
Same.
Yes. Thank you.
We have lots of time to work on blankets.
No,
So-
wind chimes. Wind chimes.
One chance.
Both.
Why
Yes.
not
One
both?
Both.
Por qué no los dos?
Next, indeed.
There is time now.
So, how does Aoife pass her time?
Specifically this evening?
Yes, specifically this evening.
Probably with lots of very soft, wistful sighing as she's petting Petrus's hair as he's fallen asleep in her lap.
My heart.
I think I just turned another 6 shades of red. Jesus! Holding hands and it makes me blush.
And I'm over here. I want to cry.
50 Shades of Blush is coming soon to a fanfiction website near you.
Gosh.
The answer I was expecting, and you got me too.
Oof.
Well, he's not much of an early riser. Not usually.
You don't say.
But, oh, Jesus Christ, I swear to God.
Crazy.
Phrasing. No, them.
You're so
It's not them.
crazy.
Oh, I know, but I was saying, that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that was totally a thing.
Yeah, he sleeps in.
That he sleeps in.
Yeah.
Except this time he doesn't.
Oh. Oh, geez.
He'll wake up sometime just before dawn. He'll look up at you and smile. And after the moment's confusion of where the fuck am I, there's that flood of warmth, that flood of butterflies. And then he squints at you for a moment, and an eyebrow raises. I've got an idea. Come here. And he'll get up and take your hand to help you off the floor. And as he leads, I'll show you in just a second. Come on, I've got that. I want to find something. And he'll lead you out through the store. And because he's human, he can't see for shit in the dark. And so he's got you by one hand, and he's feeling his way with the other until he gets to a door. And he tests the handle, and sure enough, it's unlocked. I really hope this goes where I think it does. And he opens the door and leads you up a set of stairs. Out into a glass atrium.
Oh, jeez.
I remembered seeing this on the way in, but I couldn't get a good look. But I knew it had to be here. And he'll pull you around. And lucky for y'all, there are a couple of chairs. And he'll pull out from those very voluminous pockets a pair of glasses and a water skin. And he'll pour you a glass of water. I'm sorry it isn't peppermint tea, but then again, I'm really not.
This is perfect.
He just kind of falls quiet. And you start to see the warming of the horizon out across the sea.
Oh, gosh.
And the hearth fires start to give little plumes of smoke in the city as everyone wakes up. And the moon and the rings get steadily paler as the sun comes up. And I need you to roll me perception.
Oh no.
DC 10, it's not hard. On the nose.
So distracted by the light.
Indeed.
Oof.
One of those isn't a hearth fire. It's a building fire.
Oh.
And a few minutes later, there's another.
Oh. We his human eyesight, I don't know how far he can actually see.
Not great. I mean, he can feel something coming off of you, and he doesn't know why, because, hey,
right.
you're asking perfect.
And then panic.
Right.
But also, I guess that would still make sense.
The panic changes flavor slightly.
Yeah. It's no longer like, soft panic. It's like, oh no, actual panic. I think there are houses on fire down there. And she points. I don't know if that would even help him to point in the general direction.
He would as you're pointing, he would get up and walk. Big glass front, so he can walk over and kind of peer. Oh God, I think you're right. Is that there are people at the base of those.
And do they look like houses or like mansions, or like what district of the town is it in?
They're pretty they're close to city center. So they're pretty big houses. Things get steadily smaller as the city spreads out.
Makes sense. We should probably find someone of authority and tell them about this. Though I'm sure they already know, but
yeah, no, you're not wrong.
But the sunrise was beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry it had to end like this.
Me too.
Well, there will be other sunrises. Come on.
Yes, I hope so. And so.
Yeah, he will. And so indeed, he will blindly lead the way back down to the rest of the party. Oh yeah, he totally trips on the stairs.
Oh, babe.
So, Marcella, you see them leave kind of happily and come back kind of panicked. You're muted, dear.
I forgot.
It's okay.
She just kind of like, oh, that's odd. But she's also still not up yet, so until it becomes panic that she needs to be concerned with, she's still chilling. Probably just sitting on the edge of the table, leg next to Marge, just in the ethereal plane, swinging her feet.
I definitely think it would be once we got into the downstairs portion of the airship, it would be kind of like shuffle very quickly across the floor into the room and be like, okay, there's a problem. There are some large buildings in the center of the city that are on fire. Things are burning.
Good
Wake
morning.
up! Wake up! We need to go.
Marcella's up at their
Things are
buildings
Things
burning.
are on fire and burning, and either we need to do something or we need to leave. I'm not sure which one it is, but we need to make a plan and figure this out.
I'm not leaving Marge.
Diana just looks at Aoife. Aoife, we can leave the city, but I think this city needs to burn. So we're gonna let it happen.
Wait, weren't you the one just asking about?
Excuse me?
The world and the
Diana.
city are completely different.
No, but the world does start with a city.
Maybe, but
What did you do?
solved a problem.
I
I don't think setting buildings on fire solves a problem. I think it starts a problem.
There-
can we take just a moment, just a short blip in time, if you will. And she turns to Diana. She's like, just tell me what's going on. Tell me why. Just why. Just give me the why, and I am with you, but I need to know what we're doing here.
If there's no Baron, there's no bounty on anyone. He's got a trove of them. He's gone, we're all free. And the city is free to let a council or somebody else who's a little bit better of a person rule.
But fire, dear.
Wait, you fucked over this entire city because you pissed off a baron and he put a bounty on you?
And you were upset about somebody else keeping a secret.
I'd say
Really?
my kind are petty.
There it goes deeper than that. The history between the Baron and me is short, but the history between the Baron and others rather extensive. Saoirse's had to clean up this mess a lot because of him.
Justin, quick question.
Yes.
Since Saoirse is a friend of the family,
Yes.
has she ever talked about this baron to them?
The Baron would be known to you. Yes. As generally hard to deal with. Basically, the only reason Balmoral is still part of anything is because of the extensive set of treaties, one of which, of course, Diana fucked over. But, like, she's not wrong. The guy's a jackass. Sort of famous for it. I mean, whether or not that means a city needs to be burned to the ground, huh?
Only
might-
the wealthy buildings.
Yes.
You do realize how fire works, right? It doesn't just go, oh, this is a rich person's house. This is a rich person's house. Oh, that guy's poor. I'm going to skip it and go to the next rich. It just consumes.
So I just want to be clear. You started a revolution?
Essentially.
Okay.
I'm actually rather shocked the halfling did it.
Wait. That little shit who was in the store yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Diana. Oh.
Frostbite's going to roll over in his hammock and look at Marcella and go, you wake me up when the guys get here to finish their job.
No
Oh, no.
problem. 5 minute snooze. Got it.
I'm actually not rather sure how I feel about this. On the one hand, Baron's an asshole. I completely understand getting rid of him. But setting a fire to a city.
How many other people are going to burn along with your Baron? Or did you not think about that?
Only burning the things that pertain to the Baron.
How do you know
Instructions.
that?
The instructions were to take care of the Baron.
Well,
Sometimes instructions get a little fuzzy with the amount of people that apparently are in the middle of this revolution.
Well, I have no doubt that your instructions were clear. But we also know the duality of man.
If the thoughts weren't already there, it wouldn't have been so easy to convince one person to start a whole thing.
Which is the scary part.
And what happens when the Baron tries to retaliate? Then what?
Means to.
Well, what do we do?
We're on a flying ship. We ain't got to do anything.
We let it play out like it was going to. I just kind of kick-started it.
Okay. Okay.
I am disinclined to step in.
Why not just have the guy kill the Baron? Why cause a whole city to revolt and put the lives of innocents at risk?
Because someone just as terrible would take his place.
You don't
Get
know
rid of-
that.
You get rid of the Baron and the title. It can all start anew.
Diana, do you have plans to help make the new thing?
No, I'm not political at all. That's where Saoirse would come in.
And does Saoirse know that you've started a revolution and plan
I'm
on
sure
over?
she will.
Imagine your fingerprints are all over this. Somehow, somewhere.
So what I'm hearing is you've just created a power vacuum that anybody with the desire and the manpower can come fill. You could have potentially just made Balmoral an even worse place.
No, I don't think I have.
Think and know are two very different things.
They are indeed. That's about the time the guys show back up. Heinrich and Klaus chattering about what they've seen down below. And this is where we go to break. Be back in 15 minutes. Thanks, y'all. See you then. Hi! And we're back.
And we're back.
Oh,
I'm excited to see if that made it onto the stream. Oh,
It
you
did not.
just missed it by like a hair.
So good.
oh.
I am a professional streamer.
Are you?
Obviously, so am I, because I tried to hold my straight face. Damn thing straight happening here.
There's nothing straight in this stream.
No.
No.
And so,
We didn't start the fire.
We didn't start the fire.
Wait, hold on. Only those not responsible for revolution are allowed to sing that song.
Yeah, we did. It was me and Liz.
Wow.
ooh,
Wow.
I definitely started a revolution. at some
And
point.
so.
at some point, yes, right. I keep trying that; it doesn't work.
Also, yes, as soon as a fire started, we started roasting marshmallows.
You did indeed.
S'mores. Yeah,
Well, he wanted s'mores. Now he can have
you
them.
can have them. Yeah. So yeah, the guys that showed back up, Heinrich and Klaus, talking in their strange little stereo way. All excited about the happenings below, and sort of ghoulishly so, because that probably means more business for them. And sure enough, the shop is surprisingly busy as the sun comes up. And there's the odd airship coming in. You hear a couple of small explosions off the port bow. But unless you go out into the shop, no one will come in to bother you, although the boys do have to go out and assess every now and again. It's not long after lunchtime that they pronounce Marge fit for active duty.
Yay.
And start to shut everything back up. Hilmer will come back with Diana's finished brooch, ready to be tried on.
They get the quarterstaff done too.
And so, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
The first thing, as soon as Marge is able to stand under his own power, Frostbite will go to full size and hug him. Just, I missed you, friend.
I think literally all of us just melted.
True fact. Yeah, hug received.
Yep. And then he would shrink it back in. And so, am I still allowed to ride in you? get the affirmative nod.
Phrasing.
As long as consent is obtained.
We're good.
We get the nod of affirmation and open the panel and climb into his hammock and pull the panel closed.
Petrus just leans into Aoife. Now we don't have to hear the blue one anymore. He doesn't actually know that, of course, but...
I'm so glad you're up and running again, Marge.
I am too.
So, Diana, how's that brooch doing?
You're muted, dear.
It's still in one piece. It's like I gave it to them. We'll see how it works out.
You don't want to test it out here before trying it out on the battlefield?
You know, that could be because we never talked about what it transfers into it being a thing and not a scroll.
That is up to Justin, how he wants the spell component in the item.
Oh, let's call it 3 charges a day.
Ooh.
That work for you? If you said something, I couldn't hear you.
It sounds good. 3 charges.
Yep.
Do you remember what the spell is, correct? The magical aura?
Yeah, I've got it. The false aura.
Yeah. Dope.
Change the way the target appears to spells and magical effects, such as a detect magic that detect magical auras. You can make a non-magical object appear magical. Yada yada yada. All the things. All the bits. Y'all don't want to hear me read all this.
So, the shop has gone quiet. Still the odd customer here and there. No more fights have broken out on deck since the one early this morning. Where next?
Um, do we have any other business here in Balmoral, or are we heading to the lady's estate now?
I mean, that is an option. They are expecting me.
I don't
Um,
think we should stay here.
uh, well, why don't you all talk that over? Petrus,
Yes,
can I speak with you a moment?
of
Please.
course.
And she's gonna kind of just walk out onto the deck.
Yeah, he'll follow.
Last night, you said that you wish you had been given a chance to say goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I apologize right now for what I'm about to tell you because I'm sure it's going to hurt. I received a message from my sender yesterday morning from Colonel Biloxi, though I don't know if you remember any of that. You were a little bit, forgive me for the phrasing, you were a little bit petrified.
No, the first thing I remember was waking up over Marge's shoulder, and Aoife was there, and some old guy.
Yes, we found Colonel Biloxi in the tunnels with you, and we brought him back to the Shashran.
Right, where Lucy says she saw Asa.
Yes. Asa was left with Colonel Biloxi for questioning.
Okay.
The message I received yesterday morning was from Colonel Biloxi, saying that Asa did tell him something. It wasn't much, just kept repeating a phrase, and I don't know how to tell you this. The next morning he had completely metallicized.
I'm sorry, he what?
I'm pretty sure he's more of a statue now than a person.
You're telling me he's dead?
Yes.
Even from a considerable distance, Aoife can feel Petrus break.
She goes.
I'm so sorry.
I had accepted that it was a lie.
But it doesn't make it hurt any less.
No, it really doesn't.
It never does.
I'm guessing by the fact that you're offering me the chance to say goodbye. The Colonel turned him over to you.
He asked, and I thought you deserved the chance to say goodbye.
Marcel, I don't even know if it was really him. I don't know who he is.
But from the way that you're reacting, he still meant something to you.
Yeah, he did. Oh no. I should also send to his parents. One way or another. I don't know what they know or if they know, but they deserve to know this.
I understand. And me of all people should know that everyone deserves the chance to say goodbye.
Thank you.
And she just kind of nods. She's not sure what else to say.
Where's everybody else at this moment?
Walking out through the door to make sure Petrus is okay. Basically coming in on the tail end of the conversation, not wanting to interrupt, but wanting to be there.
You see Marcella like standing a little awkwardly, like you could kind of see her hands twitch, like she's not sure if she should hug him, but like kind of looks like she wants to.
He'll hug the first person that gets close enough.
It'll probably be both of us, honestly. Big group hug.
Big group hug. I'm here for it.
Smushy hug. Good
Smushy
times.
hug.
Oh gosh, I have thoughts and questions about this, but I'm gonna put a pin in that.
Okay. Whenever you want to ask. And our own Che Guevara. What is our revolutionary paladin up to?
Just real antsy.
Yeah.
She wants to leave Balmoral finally.
Okay.
But she's patiently wait. Well, not patiently, but she's waiting.
I guess the real question is, where do we go next? I know that I have questions about the room where I found Pod in the Druid tunnels area, but that's back near the Shashrin. Yes, that's the word I wanted to use. So I would like to go investigate there a little bit more. And then I would just really love to see Lady Marcella's house. That sounds wonderful.
And those things that asked us for help.
I had forgotten about that, and I don't really like to remember it. But I feel like we're going to see them again. Because those are librarians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the librarians that weren't supposed to be out of
That
the
are somehow
library.
out of the library. Yeah. We also need to talk to the Lunomic.
But do we have to do that here? Is the Lunomic
No.
here?
We can go to a different
I really don't think we should stay here much longer. I really don't want to be around fire.
No. There is one place really quick, just a 2-second stop that I just wanted to go see for sentimental purposes, whole siren thing. And then we can go. Everyone doesn't have to go with me. I can just go by myself for that.
You sure you want to go alone?
I have Bugbear.
Okay.
Would you like to come with me and see the road of your revolution? My dear sweet marshmallow. I would hate for you to get roasted out there, though.
Yeah, I love you.
And I fucking oop.
Seeing as most of the action is in the center of the city, if you need someone to go with you, I will happily volunteer, but if you would rather go alone, I just wish you to be safe.
It's just a strange. You know that feeling you get when you just need to see a place? It's
Yes.
like that. But once this feeling is gone, then we can move on to our next thing, which I guess is, where do we want to go next?
I think
should
we have
have
a
a definitive
statue
answer.
to investigate, so I guess we will head to the Meladandri's resident.
Okay. Wonderful. We've made a plan. We should probably get a carriage. That's not going to look at us strangely. Okay. Well then. So Nia has continued to stay on Bugbear this entire time. Through the talk about the fire, through the talk about all of this, she has stayed on Bugbear. So she pats the seat behind her, looks at Diana, she says, "Hop on, it'll be faster."
And Diana goes.
Magical carpet ride.
So where in this whole new, slightly on fire world are you headed?
We are going to the docks.
Are you now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to fly around a few rather large smoke plumes to get there.
Yes.
The ship has stayed basically out of blunderbuss range.
Fun.
So yeah, it's on the western edge of the city. You kind of fly around, and nobody takes any pot shots at you because you're not big enough to worry about. When you come to land at the eastern docks, you wouldn't know there's a revolution going on 3 miles away. Everyone's just doing their job.
Yeah. So Nia jumps off a Bugbear and rolls him back up and puts him in her bag.
Mhm.
And she goes to the edge of the wharf, looks out at the sea, and Diana can just tell that she's taking it in. And then she looks to her left, and it's a job board, but it's also one of those notice board sort of things.
Sure.
And something catches Nia's eyes. And it's a poster that says, "Don't," what would it say? "Look out for individuals that are drunk or upset at the wharf. Stop drownings if you can." And Nia sees that, and she starts to cry.
Yeah, what is it?
She points to the sign and she says, I, and then she throws up. She throws up salt water. And suddenly Diana can hear the faint song coming from further out into the ocean. And Nia looks up at her and you can see the scales beginning to appear. Her eyes are beginning to become taken over by the pupil, and she says, "We should go back."
I think we should. I know enough about your kind that we need to go. Diana grabs Nia's hand and starts dragging her closer back into town.
So, for the rest of the party, as we've already discovered based on, someone stealing one of the small shuttle vessels, there is a shuttle service. Good God, Pixley. Petrus did in fact leave some things at the hotel. And so would ask to stop there. I don't know if any of you need to or not. I don't know who left what there. Or if you brought your whole packs with you to the airship. Where do y'all mean to meet up?
Well, I think maybe instead of waiting at the airship, the rest of us could make our way to the hotel so Petrus could get his things. I can cast a variety of things.
Would you like us to go unseen?
I don't know that's necessary for us.
I don't think so. I mean, I can't imagine anybody firing on one of these airships. They have to know that they're going to need the supplies.
More worried about when we get on the ground level. We are in the middle of an apparent revolution. We don't want to get caught in crossfire.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't exactly look like someone who's super rich and very wealthy, so I highly doubt that anybody is going to be taking shots at me. And then she looks over and sees Marcella, and she's like, "Oh, well, that it might be a good idea."
Marcella doesn't dress like a noble.
Okay.
Petrus didn't dress like a slouch, though.
Yeah. A fair point. Either way, I'll cast sending to let Diana know that we will meet them at the hotel.
Marge would pulse blue as Pass Without Trace goes off.
Diana tells Nia that we're going to meet the rest of the party back at the hotel to grab our things and leave.
Okay.
So, as you make your way out to the dock, something stops Petrus for a moment. Oh, go ahead. I'll be right back. And he stops and starts having a conversation with the battlemaster. He joins you a few minutes later, ready to go down, in a fairly ridiculous set of ill-fitting leather armor.
Sweetie.
Sweet boy.
It's all they had.
Not there.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Fair enough. Pulls at the collar. Well, at least this way, if I get shot, maybe you won't go in.
Yes, but I would prefer if you just didn't get shot.
Yeah, me too. I've had enough of that. Thanks. And so down you go. The shuttle driven by the Air Genasi will drop you right off at the front of the hotel. You don't have to walk all of 6 feet to get in the front door. You are uncomfortably close to what is apparently now the front lines. What with this hotel being a comfortable walk from the Baron's Manor, it also means you're a comfortable walk from several of those large houses that are currently still on fire. Best you can tell, the fire brigade doesn't seem particularly intent on putting them out.
Weird.
Imagine that.
Rich.
And so
Neat.
I'll head up, collect your things. I'm guessing it doesn't take long for Diana and Nia to rejoin the party. How does Nia look when she returns?
She looks paler. She has obviously like prestidigitated herself clean of the salt water, whatever, but she does not. She doesn't look good. Like she's in shock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do y'all mean to leave on Bugbear? As a party? What's the preferred mode of transportation here? What do you want to do?
I don't think there's enough room on Bugbear for everybody.
It would just slow.
You just go slow.
We could just hire a carriage. Hopefully.
Where is Marcella's home again?
Barden.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Oh, it's not even that far.
Mm-mm.
Does mean getting to see the good people of Gibson's Ferry again, though.
Our favorite.
We love them.
Yay!
I'm fine with walking. We just need to get out of here.
We just need to go.
Okay. The further you get from city center, the quieter it gets. The more normal life seems. By the time you pass Five Spires, you wouldn't know there's a war on.
When we pass Five Spires, or like come into the vicinity of it,
Sure.
Aoife would lean over to Petrus, and this is going to sound. This may be a rude question, and if it is, I apologize, and you certainly do not have to answer it.
I'll answer anything you asked.
Did you and Asa share a room?
No.
Did he have his own space on campus?
Yes. We had separate dorm rooms. Why do you ask?
I'm curious if there would be any of his effects left over that either you would want or that would point us in the direction that we ought to be looking.
I thought I'd just leave that for his family, but if you think we should.
I know it's painful, but I think if we could find anything, even a journal, I think something like that could be helpful. Could also maybe give you closure.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, turns to everyone and says, "We are making a detour."
Nia has her glasses on. Okay.
Yeah. So
A detour where?
Aoife explains the thought process again.
If you're going to go search Asa's room, I would like to go talk to the druids. Knowing that we have a creature that has been turned fully to iron or metal. Did Biloxi say if it was iron or just metal,
He
Justin?
just said metal.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm not
Okay.
Justin, but if I'm
No.
remembering correctly, he just
You're
said
right.
metal.
he didn't say.
Okay.
And I'm sure that the druids would have more information on what we brought to them by now.
Yes, hopefully.
If you don't mind, I think I will join you talking with the druids.
Okay.
Probably best. I don't think we could all fit in that small ass room. Are Nia and Diana staying close? What's the plan there?
Diana would go with Aoife and Petrus.
Okay.
Yeah, Nia wanted to go to the druids. That seems like the place where she's least likely to need to do anything. Is she laying on Bugbear? Yes, she is.
Which is funny because if she's riding along on Bugbear, Marcella holds her arm out and just kind of.
And Nia,
so Nia can like lay on the carpet like this if she wanted to.
Oh no, she's like laid back, like fan on her face. Like if this looks like if somebody were hungover, like that's kind of what's going on. It's very, like this is the worst. Don't look at me. Don't have makeup on.
Awful.
Nia, darling, are you okay?
No.
You don't have to come with us if you don't want.
I don't want to stay in the middle of a courtyard with teenagers around.
You know what? That's fair.
Teenagers. Ooh.
And there is a little more life on campus as you arrive. Petrus does the little thing that opens the gate. And you all walk in, and you can hear the sounds of practice combat. You can hear clerics chanting.
We know the revolution is coming.
You can hear whales, perhaps, coming from that giant pit in the ground where the beholder came from before.
That's probably totally fine.
Warlock studies?
No, actually. Yeah, no.
Well, not.
Go ahead.
Okay. So that's if we hear that and we haven't split up yet. Okay, Petrus, I'm dying to know. What is with the hole and the beholder?
And
Like, what is that? What is the sound?
That's where all the students from the Underdark stay. They're just more comfortable there.
Why so much wailing?
It's just their way, I suppose. I mean, if you lived down there with a beholder and played the kind of games they play, you'd probably make sounds like that too. I stay on the surface.
What? Fair enough.
I mean, if you've looked at the Warlock Tower, and again, it's about 15 stories. You're looking at it. It's about 15 stories, and look like somebody really wanted to pretend to be goth. It's almost a parody of gothness. Yeah, if you notice the building I study in, I don't judge.
Really? That seems awfully like your style.
Well, you're not wrong.
Oh, you're going to. Yep. Okay.
So the way it's laid out, there's the big hole, and then off to a surprisingly lush green space to the right, squared off by dorms with the packed tower, and a little open space where the cathedral is, and out beyond that to the east is the Druids' Grove. What say we deal with the Druids first? I'm guessing Marge would lead the way. He's already been there.
Yep. So Marge would seek out the druid that he had talked to before, the one that he had presented the skeletons to.
Yes. Welcome back. Have you come to stay longer?
I wish I could. There are more pressing matters, and I do have more questions.
Of course.
Did you hear about the incident at the Baron's Masquerade?
Only rumors. I'm not accustomed to
That
people calling Eladrin creatures. What do you mean?
They were not Eladrin, to my knowledge. I could be wrong. We had the remains of one that walked away after exploding in a fireball. No, wait, no. That one didn't explode into a fireball.
No, that was one of the ones that was brought to us, correct?
Yes.
Yes. To further explain, because I believe you two are familiar, so I'm assuming he brought you the original corpses.
He brought
This
me the
one-
hag, yes.
Yes. This one was not. This one was not burned. This one was a whole being, and it was by looks an Eladrin, but when we went to check something else entirely, that it was gone.
They also attacked with metal.
We also have one that has entirely turned to metal.
It was a changeling that was under investigation and interrogation.
Interrogation by who?
Colonel Biloxi. It had assumed his form where we had found Colonel Biloxi in the caverns where we found the first dryad that had infused itself with iron. Freed him, and when we got to Lashashran, is that where we were? To Lashashran, the changeling had assumed his identity. We were able to capture it and subdue it, and the colonel investigated it. Wanted to interrogate.
I don't.
Apparently, he was saying something about iron and blood and fire.
Bone and steel and burning sky, if I'm remembering correctly.
And the next morning, Colonel Biloxi said it was solid metal.
I can almost guarantee you that's solid iron. How many of
We will tell you when I get there.
how many of these supposed Eladrin were there?
Oh gosh.
6,
Well,
at least.
possibly more.
There were four we fought that erupted in fire.
And at least
after we
2 more before I rejoined you, and a friend dealt with those and brought back, 3? I thought Chauncey brought back 3. Yeah. Because he had 1 fireman's carried and the other 2 he was dragging by their collars.
This isn't good. 1 hag, 1 dryad. That's something. They're minor Fey. Forgive me. But Eladrin, that's something else entirely. I've been doing a little more research on what we know of the so-called Iron Court. They don't have ways of being in their own body, and so they take over others. There are legends about when Iron Fey actually walked the earth, but again, nothing we can substantiate. In this age, there have been maybe, 4, 5 confirmed. And none of them lived very long. They were put down by the other courts.
I can say I've put down 6 with the help of my friends. 3 may still be walking, disguised as Winter Eladrin.
You said you thought it was dead.
We did. It was.
We moved it from the Baron's ballroom to the room I was residing in to bring it here. And the next morning, I went to go confer with my associates. And when we returned to my room, it was gone and had left a trail of goo out to the terrace.
Have you ever seen any goo like that before? Give me a history check, DC 15.
Both of us?
Yeah, actually.
Please roll better than my first roll. That was better. That is an 18 for Marcella.
Okay.
19.
Okay. Now that he says it, you remember that the liquid that came out of the dryad and what you saw on the floor, nearly identical. Close enough you'd think they were the same thing.
When I killed the dryad.
And Marcella is looking up at you like she was just about to say the same thing.
It would be interesting to know if that dryad is still there.
I burned the body. All that was left was the metal skeleton. There were talks of the party of going back to further investigate some other things we found in those ruins.
You mind me asking what other things?
No. Excuse me. No.
No, you don't want to tell him, or no, you don't mind.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Overruled. There seemed to be an office situated down there that we had talked
under
about.
It.
Oh, yes, it was under it, wasn't it? But that we had talked about.
Justin, you told me that Marge's memory banks have been active the whole time.
That's correct.
Is there a way he can play what he saw back through his eyes?
Yes, you could recall it pretty clearly.
Yes, I would recall it for the druid.
Okay.
Oh, and it startles Marcella because she didn't realize you could do that.
What are these books over here?
If I'm remembering correctly, I believe they were journals. Oh, Marge wasn't there.
Right. Okay.
He was brought one
Yeah.
of
That's
the
right,
books
that's right,
to
that's
look
right.
at.
I believe they were journals. There was a whole slew of them.
Strange.
That was one of the things I wanted to go back and get.
So you have one. Whose is it?
Marcella, you've got the book, don't you?
Aoife had it.
Aoife has the book.
It had a name in it though that
No,
Marcella
it
recognized.
had this name at the back. Marge would play forward till it pauses on the name.
It was in Invictus Planeweaver, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's like I was like, it's in my notes. It's right there.
I could remember because I thought it was kind of an interesting name.
The moment you say the name, the druid's eyes get big as saucers. I'm sorry. Did you just say Invictus Planesweaver?
Yes.
That is correct.
Clearly, this name means something to you.
Well, the name is legend. But I know his grandson pretty well. He lives just north of Lashashran. He used to tell me stories. Most of them I didn't quite believe. He's a good druid, don't get me wrong. One of the most powerful I've ever known, but I just always assumed that was a kid idolizing a grandfather he never really knew.
Can you provide me a letter of introduction? I believe I know exactly where he resides.
Sure, I don't mind. You seem good enough, and you've been more than giving with what you know.
However, when I sensed him, if it was him I sensed, the signs pointed for me to stay away.
He has reason to ward his place. But that's not my story to tell. I can give you a letter that will get you to him and get you past his wards. But best not to sneak up on him.
Do I look like I can sneak very well?
I try not to judge a book by its cover.
He does have you there. And Marcel is just looking at you, grinning.
So, if you don't have any other questions for him.
One more. When we left the temple on the way to Lashashran,
Yes.
had visions of blood all over the trees and the road. When I sensed Planesweavers, what I am believing to be the grandson of Invictus Planesweaver. Are there anything in the legends that you've heard?
Stories. Very, very old stories. About 300 years after the dawn of the Fourth Age. There were tales of bleeding trees. There were tales of things that would corrupt the forest. But again, not something I've ever seen with my own eyes. It's possible that this could be the work of the Iron Court, trying to weaken the hold of the other courts on the material plane. Or it could be something else entirely. I don't really have any way to know.
At this point, from what I have seen, I would advise to put more stock in the stories.
I will indeed. And perhaps I owe young Master Planesweaver a visit of my own.
It'd be interesting to see what he knows, since the blood was in his stomping grounds.
I imagine if he knows anything about it, it won't be for much longer.
Thank you.
Of course. Come. We've been standing outside in the open air long enough. There's shade just right there. And he'll walk over and bring you to a set of low, heavy toadstools. And you'll sit, and he pulls out a parchment and starts writing, as he had promised you a letter of introduction. When he gets done, he reaches down under one of the toadstools and comes up with spores covering his thumbprint. Just rolls it across the bottom. Hands it to you.
Thank you.
Of course, if you get there before I do, well, just tell him his old master said hello.
I will. And if you get there before I do, please let him know. I will be there shortly.
Of course. You seem a very nice person. I'd hate to see you turned into an entire tree.
I don't think I would enjoy that.
The image that just popped in my head is Marge holding tree branches.
He just looks
I
like
love
the depictions of the dryads where it's like they pose and that's what their tree looks like, but it's literally just Marge but with like tree branches.
Marge, our bear-shaped tree. Yes.
Love it.
And two little extra ones out where his ears are.
Love it.
Because
Oh my
bear
gosh.
shade is best shade.
Bear-shade is best shade. That's right.
They provide a lot of that if it was an actual tree.
Oh, play.
Provide a lot of that without being a real tree.
I almost said that Marcellus sat like down, like in Marge's shadow to be and just like, I don't know. I've heard bear shade is the best shade.
And so, meanwhile, back at the quad.
Is he playing hacky sack?
Someone got hit with a frisbee.
Oh.
That's twice in 2 sessions you got me to completely break character, you jackass.
Love you. I'm good at what I do. Just Tyler, just go whoosh.
Bonk.
Go to horny jail?
Oh
No.
boy.
Meg, you're
And so, I believe we were heading to a dorm room.
I believe that was the case.
Yeah. Petrus isn't in any particular hurry. He's not exactly avoiding it. He knows Aoife's right. But this place used to be home. And now kind of everything's in question. He was expecting to be just starting a normal term in about 3 days. But turns out not quite so much. Since the front gates are magically warded, almost nothing else is locked. And so he just walks right up to the corner. The dorms make a little L shape, and there's an arch where the two buildings meet. And he'll walk through, palm a door. It opens for him. And sure enough, it's a college dorm. Unpainted gray stone walls. There's some sort of magical lighting in orbs about at every 20 feet, casting a soft yellow glow over everything. You don't go very far until he turns. There's a staircase. He'll go up 2 flights. Not really stopping to look around, not stopping to talk to anybody. He gets to the 3rd floor. It's about halfway down the hallway. He comes to a door and he just stops. He'll stand there for a minute. His eyes will slip closed. And then he opens the door. He was right. Not very many people would fit in here. It's going to be tight with the 3 of you. There's a single bed, unmade. The blue and white handmade quilt on it. It's a little writing desk. Papers everywhere. Some of them written in common. Most of it math that's kind of over everybody's head. There are... The desk has a little bookshelf that sits at the back and rises up. Textbooks, journals, scrolls. What looks like it was probably coffee in a cup at some point, but now a little less so.
Yikes.
Hope it wasn't dairy.
Oh, I want to red card the coffee so bad.
But it doesn't look like anybody's come through and like tossed the room.
No, it looks like a disorganized college kid. There's a feather quill laying on the desk on top of a piece of paper, uncleaned. Like somebody just got up and walked out.
Heathens. Does anything look out of place to you? Something that shouldn't be here?
No. This is his room. It looks like he could have been here 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
His journals are in the drawer. I guess I should probably be the one to look. He'll sit down. The bed is, you're close enough that the bed, you can easily reach the drawer from the bed. It's a very fucking small room. And he pulls out a simple leather-bound journal and unties it. The strange flood of emotions coming off of him is just, it's a wash. It's a lot of fear, a lot of doubt. He opens it and starts flipping through pages. You can tell his eyes are just washing over it, like nothing's registering. And then the pages start to turn faster and faster like he's looking for something. And then his hands stop. And he goes preternaturally still. You can feel his stomach just drop.
What is it?
The date.
I don't understand.
The dates are wrong. The dates are all wrong. And you can start to feel panic. Real panic. And he flips back. Rattle, rattle, rattle. You can hear the pages going. And then back forward again. And you realize he stopped on a blank page. The dates are wrong. The dates are all wrong.
What do you mean? What do you mean the dates are wrong?
Look at this. And he holds up the book. And the journal stops on a date 2 years old. I never knew Asa. He's been that thing the whole time. The man I thought I knew was a lie the entire time.
Well, I don't know the proper thing to say here.
You don't have to say anything, Eva.
Would Eva have any knowledge of changelings? Like, would she... The curiosity for me is, do changelings... Do they take on the appearance of something else or someone else? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Would she know that?
They can. I mean, the fact of the matter is that for Aoife, they would be the thing of fairy tales.
Right.
Most often cast as the villain.
Sure.
But yes, they're sort of known for impersonating other things, such that you never know what they are.
Then in that case, and I don't say this to be cruel.
Of course not.
It's not... Maybe it's not that you didn't know him. Maybe it's just that he's still out there. I don't know if that makes it better. Maybe you just haven't actually found Asa yet. She feels like real conflicted about that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what I would do if I did. I mean, this clearly wasn't him. This was something else.
yeah.
What else should we look for?
Anything that looks wrong. I don't know if we, between the three of us, have any magics to, detect hidden spaces or anything like that, but if we find something, I can read it, but we'd have to find it first.
Petrus would set to basically tossing the room at this point. Again, it's mostly school stuff. He was putting up the appearance of being a college student.
Right.
You find at least one older journal, but that one goes up through the date that the other one begins, so nothing really telling there. It's some teenage kid's diary. There is a strange lack of, like, once you open the closet, yes, there are clothes, but roll me investigation. Call it DC 12.
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, there nothing there twigs. Likewise, I mean, there's a pair of boots tucked in the corner. What looks like possibly sports equipment. But yeah, it just looks like the effects of a 20-year-old college kid. Diana, what are you doing right now?
Can't
Apart
hear
from
you.
being muted.
There
Do
you
what?
go.
I was standing outside the door because it's a small room.
Okay.
Just kind of there if they need help moving the heavier things. Trying not to eavesdrop too terribly.
Aoife, do you have anything you want to cast?
I keep looking through my spells, and I feel like half of the things that I have are really only helpful if you know what you're looking for. Would you allow me to cast Thaumaturgy for well, actually, maybe we'll just do a search. Maybe a search would be better. I want to look like bed frame,
Okay.
closet, desk for hidden latches or doors.
Sure. I'm going to ask for another investigation check.
Absolutely. Hopefully this one will go better than the last one because that was a hot 2. So let's see. That is a 17.
That is a 17. You don't find any hidden doors or latches. But you do notice something odd in the closet. Absolutely everything is covered in a fine sheen of dust. When you open all of the other drawers, everything except that journal is covered in a fine sheen of dust. When you pull the books off the shelves, there's very clearly prints where they were, and dust has settled around them. There's nothing under the bed. And you notice that for theoretically being, a bird person, there's not feather or down anywhere in this room.
All right.
I'm sorry we couldn't find what you were looking for.
I'm glad that we could get you an answer.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry that this was the answer.
It's better than not knowing. And he'll reach out and take your hand and lead you out of the room. Back down, out into the quad. Clouds have started to gather, so you can't really see the sky anymore. Everybody else headed back? Okay. And so.
Sorry, and so. It
And so,
cracks
yeah.
me up every time.
And so.
And so.
We're walking and we're walking.
And we're walking and we're moving.
There's a little more heavy traffic headed out of town by the time you regain the road. Close to sunset, it starts to snow.
Oh.
This is the dead of winter after all. So, we are walking and we are walking and we are going to make camp for the night. Do we turn back toward Gibson's Ferry, or do we try our luck at the river forward further south?
Neither of these options sound appealing to me.
Which would you rather be? Which would you rather we try, Aoife?
I don't think it matters either way. You've all seen how they react to me. I'm used to it.
I had
Then
fun.
again, you don't have to
like
actually.
she.
I'm so sorry to speak over you, Marge, my dear sweet robot friend. Pat, pat. You don't have to walk through them, though, if you don't want to. There are. Well, I know. I could let you be invisible and let you walk quite confidently through that crowd with us around you. No one would see you or anything.
They're
And we
not
could
worth the
continue
effort.
to grow. You're worth the effort, dear.
But they're not.
Uh-oh. Did we just lose Nikki?
Oh no!
Whoops.
No.
Sorry. Whoops.
As I was saying, they're not worth it. So, let's just... We can just go there. Ugh. Just deal with them. The pub there is actually quite good. So
We could stop by.
Didn't
I'm
we
sure-
not drink enough last night?
I'm sure if we wanted, we could have the entire pub to ourselves.
We drank enough for last night, but what about tomorrow night?
Tonight it's cold.
or tonight.
Or tonight?
It is chilly.
Oh, we could all bundle up together, keep each other warm. Oh, I love it. It's like we're bonding.
Yeah, if you wanted to snuggle with everyone, you just had to ask. My answer is still no, but it's worth a shot.
No. I mean,
I'm here for it.
I don't like being cold, but it's fine.
So, if you take the path toward Lash Ashen, or toward Gibson's Ferry, pardon me, you can actually find the same camping spot you used the last time. It's not like it was really that far. The snow starts coming down heavier and heavier.
Will my tiny hut scroll fit everybody inside? Like, will the hut fit everyone?
It actually will, yes.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and
getting
use that then,
cozy.
because
8 people.
nobody wants to sleep in a tent on a snowy night.
No.
So,
And the way the tiny hut works, you can like completely brush the snow out. You could even make a fire in the middle, and the snow will escape, or the smoke will escape out the top.
perfect.
The snow won't come in. Love
snow won't
tiny
come-
hut.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. It is a wonderful, wonderful little spell. No one can enter that you don't want to enter. Nothing can enter you don't want to enter.
I'll go ahead and take that off my list of things that I now have,
Yep.
because I don't have it any longer, but
Don't. But
perfect.
Was
Perfect
useful.
use.
Very
Perfect
useful.
use for it.
yep. And so
For giggles, I'm not on Bugbear walking. But Bugbear is above everybody else flying so that we're not covered in snow.
You're so sweet. Look at you.
I am.
She's in the middle, so she absolutely does not get any snow.
Yes, absolutely.
right. The rest of them are just kind of bunched around the edges, and like everybody has snow on a little bit of a shoulder somewhere. But, like you have dandruff only on one side.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Best use of a flying carpet. It's a
This is
umbrella.
my favorite thing ever.
Suddenly
Second
mine
only
too.
to Pod, but I don't use Pod like that.
So, there's actually no need for anyone to keep watch. Anyone who wants can get a good night's sleep, or not sleep, as the case may be. For our 2 who don't sleep at all, 3, yeah, 3 technically. That's right. For the people up all night, you notice that the traffic coming out really doesn't slow down. This revolution is creating refugees, and they're on the move. Most of them wouldn't have the resources for a magic hut, and so they're just going to go until they find a tavern somewhere. What are our 3 not sleepers doing?
Before Petrus goes to sleep, Aoife takes a book out of her pack. And it's a blank book. It's a spell book. And she opens it to a page in the back and hands him a small pointed piece of charcoal and asks him if he would write his name on the page. His whole name.
He does. Doesn't hesitate.
She can now cast sending without using any material components to him specifically. And the response will show up in the book.
Oh, wow.
So,
Neat.
yeah.
That's real fancy.
It's real fancy. I have a cool patron.
Yeah, he won't ask. He'll just, you want his name, you get his name.
And then probably the same thing as the night before. Let him sleep.
Which he does gratefully. What of our other 2 non-sleepers?
Well, Marcella would have laid down in an attempt to sleep. But if anybody was in the ethereal plane, which silly,
Why would there be anyone in the ethereal plane? That never happens.
That is
Don't
so
know.
strange. Why would you even say that?
she's sitting next to Marge with her knees pulled up and just kind of leaning against him. She doesn't really feel the need to keep watch, so.
Fair enough. And Bix is tucked in right next to you, just purring up a storm.
That is very accurate to real life.
And our other not sleeper.
Marge is probably carving, like sitting there just in sentry mode for his 8 hours of non-strenuous activities, like going between carving whichever random woodland animal, probably a woodchuck, and scratching on Bix since Bix is right there, or if Lucy's within arm's reach. Like,
So given the size
Both
of the
of
hut,
them.
probably both of them are in arm's reach. Lucy is typically a foot warmer.
yeah.
Best girl.
She is. And so, you wake up the next morning. Those
In
of
the
you-
middle of the night, just adding on to the plot point I already used earlier, Aoife and Marcella and Marge, if we're all in the same tent area together, you all see Nia lurch forward from her sleep, throw up salt water, look at you all, say, sorry, and clean herself off and go back to sleep. That's Nikki. I'm sorry. Everyone's faces are very good.
Well, I think everyone in character is like,
I think seeing that, Marge would wake up frostbite.
do you need help? Like, does she immediately fall back asleep or?
No, she definitely like lays back down to try and be like, don't look at me.
Oh.
Marcella at that probably would have woken herself up because she can do that. And would have gone over and just sat with Nia. That's probably would have leaned with her, like sat down with her legs crossed in front of her and just patted her legs so Nia could lay her head on her lap and just basically is mimicking the same thing that Eve is doing with Petrus, but with Nia.
Aww.
Her friend is, in her mind, her friend is sick, so
I know
she's gonna comfort you.
She lays her head down, and she says, and you can see it again. Like she kind of perked up on the walk over here, but as soon as that happens, you can suddenly again see that very drawn look on her face. That is not normal for Nia at all. And she's just so. I think I made a mistake when I went to go with Diana to look out at the shining, shimmering water, because I felt a call and I was going to respond. And it felt a little more natural than that with my sisters. And I didn't get that, though. What I got was a memory. So I drowned once.
Are you okay?
No, not really. I'm. But here's the thing. If I'm a siren, how would I drown?
You always been a siren?
It's all I've ever known. Since the time I woke up on the beach
And that was
5 years ago.
And forgive me, I believe that's salt water.
Yes.
Could this perhaps be a memory from before?
Perhaps.
Nia, I don't mean to be crude, but you're obviously more than 5 years old. So
Goodness, I don't know. My mentor didn't tell me how sirens were made or born, or she simply told me what I was, how to survive, and then sent me to the Bard College so that they could protect me, shelter me.
would Aoife or Marcella have any idea of
How
just,
a siren is made?
fairy stories about how sirens are made?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad maidens answering the call of the sea.
It's about what I expected.
Yeah.
Ooh. Frostbite would open the hatch after Marge woke him up and go, I'm probably the most familiar with your kind. You said you woke up 5 years ago. The stories. Where did you wake up on the beach?
On the coast of La Place, actually. Just a little south.
I don't have my map, Justin. Where is that?
It's the full length of a major river and around a bay.
Yeah.
It is. And we are up yonder, so it's
And outside of sad maidens answering the call of water, would Frostbite know of any other way sirens are made?
No, but now that you bring it up, you do know that they're not unheard of in rivers, but they thrive in oceans.
Right.
You would also know of a place called the Avern, where they most often come ashore, and it's a short hop across the sea from where she was found.
Sirens are normally brought into the sisterhood by answering the call of the sea in their darkest moment. Heartbroken, defeated, sad. And from where you said you were brought ashore, that is near the Avern.
Did I throw myself into the sea after I found out about what he was doing to me? Oh, I should have killed him.
Wait, there's enough talking and noise. Diana definitely would have woken up.
Frostbite would flutter over and like put his little hand on Nia's. Nia, you're not the first who has answered the call. You will not be the last.
No. No. No, I won't be. Which is unfortunate. But I don't like this. I don't like what I have to do to survive. I want to know who I was before this. He took that from me. I want it back.
Nikki's just over here breaking my heart. It's fine.
Yes. It's like, let the tears go. If the makeup runs, it's fine.
Girl, you got me bordering on tears. You're doing great, sweetie.
Justin, would Frostbite know if all sirens forget the before?
Yes, they do.
Has he heard anything in the courts about any recovering those memories?
No. Jenny would be very upset about that. It's the only name you know the Queen of the Sirens by.
Just gonna make a note about that one.
Just gonna write that down.
Wait, Jenny would be upset that she recalled a memory?
Yes.
Did Jenny from the dock?
Get out. Get
You got
out.
it before me. I'm so proud of you.
There's the exit. Good day, sir. Gone.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got.
Oh,
You
both
can
of
get out, too.
Can go.
You take that door, you take that door.
We'll just high five on our way out. It's fine.
Having to kick players out this close to the end of a session, I swear to God.
Nia, I know you want to know what happened before. I would advise you, with all that I am, if you are around another of your kind, do not let on that you have remembered anything.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I, unlike most sirens, like to be above water. Though the call to the sea is still very great, and every now and again I take a long dip, but I've never really been a fan of my sisters. We're not a loving kind.
Should we ever make it to the Avon, however, remember my words.
I'll remember your words, but I'm serious. I want to know how I can reverse this. If it happened once,
We do have those library passes.
And, of course, we'll do whatever we can to help you. But for now, no offense, and I know this will sting, you look terrible. You should probably rest. We're almost home.
Sorry for worrying all of you. This has been on my mind all day.
Your friend. I know we've all got our secrets. Some bigger than others. But we're not going to let anything happen to you. And we're going to try to help you the best we can.
Thank you. But at least all of you get to choose whether or not you get to talk about your secrets. Enya is going to lay her head back down on Marcella, and she is going to cast sleep on herself.
Ooh!
Just like, great.
Fair
I need
enough.
beauty sleep.
Bitch, enough.
Fair enough.
And I think with the party settling down for the evening, that's where we're going to call it. I'm sure between now and next session, I will find out what the complication for that little plot point is going to be.
The gears are turning.
I'm sure. As ever, to my players, I love you. Thank you so much. To everyone in chat, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of our community. I am Justin McGregor, your DM and host. Going around the table, we have.
I'm Liz, and I have been Aoife, your Swamp Witch Warlock for the evening.
I'm Abe. I've been Marge, your Warforged Barbarian, and your unusually quiet druidic fairy Frostbite.
I am Kayla. I have been your revolution-inducing paladin, Diana.
I'm Meg, and I have been our Pact of the Apparition Warlock, Marcella, and there is a Bixley in my lap, but he's not going to let me touch his paws so you can see him.
Hi, it's Nikki, and I have been your sobbing and also saltwater throwing Saren Bard Nia.
Again, thank you all so very, very much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Tyler, for all the great work you do.
Tyler, down there.
Tyler.
Thank you,
And
buddy.
Chris, and just everyone.
And everybody, we love you.
And thank you, chat, for being here with us on this adventure.
Stick around, not here, but at some point, check out Serving Face, a podcast about our show starring Kin and Strix, where they digest what has happened in the episodes.
Indeed.
It's a ride.
The bludacity.
The
goddamn bludacity.